Hey, welcome everybody. We'll give everyone a chance to sign on here while we make some final adjustments. A little windy. We've got one of the windows open and it's been a little windy. So I'll adjust my hair while you sign on. Get my microphone right here. Awesome. Well, everybody gets signed on here. Welcome. And always post your questions in the comment section. We'll do a little market review to start and talk about some important things, and then we'll get to your questions and comments. So give it a couple more minutes here. Make sure the hair's straight. All right, let's get started. First of all, welcome to the StockPickProfits.com market update, which is a daily thing that we do. Thanks for joining us. If you have questions or comments, just go ahead and post them in the comments section and we'll get right to them when we're done with our spiel. And so let's get started on the market. Okay, it was an ugly day today, right? Dow finished down about 300 points. Just a lot of ugly all around. It got even worse than that. The S&P ended up about 37 points down. The NASDAQ was down about 160 points. That's 2%. That's a pretty good move down. The Russell 2K, which is your small caps, was down about 1.5%, 28 points. That's after a big run. You got to remember, the NASDAQ and the Russell 2000 have had a big run the last week. So it makes sense that they take a little break. They're not really that far off the highs and stuff like that. Little concern, but not a whole lot of concern right now. The VIX had a nice little spike today, 25%. It ended up about 4 points. Still in that 17-point range, though. We think until it gets to about 25, maybe 25, 30, we're not really in that super volatility right now. So we'll take that with a grain of salt right now. If you're a TVIX player or something, you guys might be wondering, what do you play with the VIX? One of the more popular ones, but a shaky trade, is TVIX, which is TVIX. That's an ETF for the VIX. It's a lot of people say it's a manipulated ETF and stuff. There's a lot of chatter around TVIX. We don't really play it. When we do want to play the VIX, we'll usually play something a little bit more logical and a little less chaotic. But if you want something fun to trade, I think at one point TVIX was up $14-15 today. So it moves like that, though. So if you are going to play it, be careful. But it was an ugly day today, but the last 30 minutes were a little encouraging, right? We had some nice movement there at the end. Let's pull up a chart. In fact, let's pull up a chart. Let's go solo on the chart. And you can see, towards the end of the day there, that it got a little push towards that last 30 minutes. But there's something kind of happening here. If you look at the right side of the chart, we just made that little rounded high, right? As compared to the one to the left of it. Now, this could be the beginning of a head and shoulders. We bounced off that 2,700 level, but we need to take out the other high, the previous high, in order to not form that right shoulder. And you know what happens with a head and shoulders. Head and shoulders, for you new traders or unfamiliar technical traders, is one of your more bearish formations. It's almost a kiss of death. So we want to keep an eye on that. This could turn into a more serious move down. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. We'll see how it goes. What's really been playing on things is the whole Trump thing. The Trump trade is in full force right now. With the trade war going on, but really it's just a war of words, right? It's still a war of words. Those words are having a very dramatic effect, especially with traders' emotions, right? So we always tell you that part of your discipline is you have to be very, very logical and you have to be very unemotional, almost like Spock in Star Trek. For you millennial traders, there you go. Star Trek. We know you guys are Star Wars and Star Trek fans. You got to be like Spock. Don't let these little war of the words and stuff shake you out of positions and stuff, One of the big things today, though, with the market was Netflix. Netflix had its worst day in 2 years. Netflix has been on a big run lately. They had that great user growth. We've actually been looking at a short for Netflix, and we'll kind of keep you updated on that, you readers. But the team has been looking for a short in that because we don't feel like Netflix has gotten real strong footing going forward. So if you're looking for trade ideas, go and take a look at Netflix. We're going to be doing that. We don't believe that it's doing as well as they say it is. And we're not saying the company's lying or fudging anything, but we don't think that sun that's shining on it right now is that bright. And the reason is we see a lot of people switching to Hulu, friends, family. Netflix really is becoming a dry service. It doesn't really offer that much without upgrading and stuff. The movies are kind of stale, right? We were just looking at Netflix over the weekend with the trade room. We were going to put something on the TV while we were doing our thing because it's a weekend. It's real casual in the room. And we couldn't even find anything on Netflix. We ended up on Hulu watching. Hulu has all the TV shows, right? So we can watch, we've got a couple in the trade room. They like How to Get Away with Murder. A couple of them are into Lucifer and stuff. So we just watched that on Hulu. So how steady is the footing for Netflix right now? You have to ask yourself that. Is the brand getting dry? Are there new subscribers out there? Where's that growth going to come from? We all know with Netflix, nobody cares if they make or lose money. They just care, are those subscribers growing? Are the subscribers growing? Remember now, we've got earnings season right around the corner. So that is always a ton of fun. A lot of money being made. That's part of our looking forward segment today. Earnings season is right around the corner. Always a lot of fun. You should be positioning now. Look, if you're a bull, you're getting good pricing right now. You're getting great pricing right now. We took up a bullish position today in our Hyper Growth Accelerator program, which is our top line program. Just took out a long position today. So how are you looking at this market? Ask yourself, how are you looking at this market? Are you looking at it as a buying opportunity? Capitalize on earnings seasons right around the corner? Should be getting out of positions because it's just going to go down more. Just remember that's always one of the most important things is doing an honest assessment of your portfolio. And there's a lot of things going on in the market. So just real briefly before we get to this questions and stuff, let's just go over the news. Trade advisor Navarro, he came out and he said that there's no plans for investment restrictions on China or other countries. So, that kind of helps and stuff. The interest rate argument is starting to pick up speed because now we're getting to the point where are we raising too much? Are we not raising enough? Are we going too fast? Should we slow down and things like that? And so we're getting a lot of Fed speeches. What do you think? What do you think with interest rates? Personally, as a trade team, we're still bullish on the market and the economy because we think the Fed's doing really well. We think Janet Yellen did very well, and we think her successor is actually off to a good start. So, not a whole lot to talk about. There's a lot of Bitcoin talk today. Any of you guys out there in Bitcoin? We were real fortunate a few months back where Samuel in the office gave us a Cryptopia account and we went and fiddled with Bitcoin. Jesse and Ryan and some of the older subscribers know we were talking about it. We were messing around with the old Bitcoin and we had a lot of fun with it, but we learned a lot of hard lessons too. We actually bought an ICO which forked and we didn't know what to do, so we ended up not getting the fork. Rookies. We did make some money on Bitcoin, the BTC Bitcoin, the big one. And we bought a couple ICOs that we made a little bit of money on, but all told, 6-7 months later, we're pretty much at break even. But our official stance on Bitcoin is it's not a good investment right now. If you're playing Bitcoin and you're doing well, kudos to you. We're seeing a lot of people lose money. We're seeing a lot of people buy false moves and things like that. So is it a bubble? Isn't it a bubble? We don't know. It's just not worth playing to us. We can make money in the stock market. Why would we go mess with a crypto coin? And here's our official stance too. And I'm going to put this out publicly right now for everyone because there was some chatter in the trade room and amongst the company and some people today. Blockchain is a revolutionary technology. There is no doubt about it. We were just reading an article yesterday about how blockchain is solving a food waste problem. We'll post that article on I Love Investing sometime tomorrow. But if you guys read the article, it really tells you the story. Blockchain doesn't need the coins. It doesn't need the ICOs. As soon as blockchain is starting to be utilized and is brought to a mainstream, all these coins are going to just lose their value. That's what we think. We think anybody that's getting in Bitcoin right now is going to be a bag holder. So that's what we think about Bitcoin. So, just one more time, let's go over the market. The market was looking a little weak, man, in the beginning. This morning we opened up blood red. We kind of stabilized, and that right out of lunch, right, we came out and we were down about 450 points. We ended up closing about 100 points higher at about 320. It was an encouraging half hour, but how can you use the today's trading in the last half hour like you used to with the tweets and stuff in the next morning? So, it's better to be trading logically, pick your positions, stick through the trade, analyze your trade constantly, then try to catch these little moves. Never try to time the market. And we're going to close the commentary part right now with my favorite meme. I don't have a Warren Buffett meme or anything like that right now, but I do have my favorite meme. And if you guys want to enjoy it, this is from South Park, and you can just hear him saying, right, first time day trading with 2K, and it's gone. We've got friends that have done that. We've got friends that did that with Bitcoin. But anyways, that's one of our favorite memes. And, we don't have any fantastic philosophical sayings today for you. It was a busy market day for the team. We were releasing that big pick, and there's a lot going on in the market. We're looking for opportunities because we see opportunities. But so we didn't really get into finding the meme today, but that's isn't that great? That's one of our favorites. We'll have something more intelligent for you tomorrow, okay? But sometimes South Park is all the intelligence we need. Anyways, gang. So look, let's get to the questions. Looks like we got a few viewers. Let's see. Sana. Welcome, Sana. All the way from Sweden. Welcome as always. Interesting to hear your take on Bitcoin. Yeah, it's interesting too, Sana. I've been saying it for about 6-7 months now. I've been saying it since it got to that 1900 point. It'll never see 1900 again. You heard it here first. Uh-oh. Savar's here. What's he saying? Laugh out loud. That was me. Oh, yeah, Savar. Hey, don't feel bad, Savar. Seriously, don't feel bad, man. I know so many traders that are just solid traders, fantastic traders. Some are from Forex and stuff like that. They just got wrecked in Bitcoin. It was so easy to get caught up in it, right? I mean, you were having articles, $100,000. Remember all those James Altucher ads, the Bitcoin billionaire? Where is he now? Where did he go? Remember, they were having these big seminars and stuff, free webinars. I know you guys saw them. And hey, Roland, welcome. And Marco, welcome, Roland and Marco. We're talking a little bit about Bitcoin, but I'm sure you guys remember him. You remember, like on Facebook, they were everywhere. That guy James Altucher, his picture would be in there, and you gotta come learn how to make money on ICOs. And ICOs are their equivalent of IPOs, which are your smaller coins or your hybrids and stuff like that. Your initial offerings, but remember when those were big, when Bitcoin was pushing towards that 19K, and everybody's just on fire over it. Everybody's buy more. It's going to 1 million. It's going to 100,000. We never bid into that. But you know what? Samuel will tell you too. We actually went and watched the seminar because look, I mean, it might be, we're about making money, right? If we can learn something to make money, we want to learn. So we're no different than you guys. And we went and watched the webinar. It was doo-doo. It was doo-doo, to put it nicely. He was trying to justify it as a currency, and he didn't understand what currency was. So I kind of laughed him out of the place personally, but I could see where it caught some people because he was using mumbo jumbo, but it wasn't really, if you understand how currency works, fiat currency and stuff like that. Fiat currency is your regular currency, like your dollar, your ruble, the yuan, and the peso and all that stuff. But we were watching that, and I remember, and he was trying to justify it as a currency and all this stuff. And I was like, gee, dude, this guy has no idea how a real currency works. But it caught all these people, right? You can imagine they probably had a whole bunch of people sign up for that. Where are they now, right? Where are they now? Hey, Ronnie. Welcome, Ronnie. So with the Bitcoin thing, we never bid into that. But 7 or 8 months ago, and you can ask Samuel, anybody that works in the office and stuff, I was telling them, stay away from Bitcoin. It's done. It was a momentum play. It was a hysteria play. You weren't buying value. You were buying the fact that you knew you could buy it at 10,000 and somebody would buy it from you for 11,000. Irrational exuberance. There we go. Back to Alan Greenspan, right? Remember back when he said the irrational exuberance? It's easy to see in hindsight. It is. And I was trying to explain to, because, our company, we have a lot of people that never, in the office and stuff, they haven't traded before. And they were asking bubble. What do these people mean by a bubble? And I was trying to explain to them. A bubble is not like what you think. It's not like where it inflates and then boom, it just pops one day. What a bubble does is it'll inflate. And that's top is where it'll catch the big bag holders. And then as it comes down, as it deflates, it doesn't just pop, it deflates. And every now and then it reinflates and it grabs more bag holders. And then it goes down a little bit more, grabs more bag holders. Then it goes down a little bit more and inflates, grabs more bag holders, right? This is all you're holding on for dear life. And then you have some fear of missing out, right? People come in. And so it was 19K one day. Now it's 6K, and everybody, you're conditioned already to hearing all this stuff. It's going to 1 million, it's going to 1 billion, it's going to 1 zillion, it's going to change everything, right? And so every time it pops, you think, oh man, this is the move. Okay, well, I better get in now. And then it's got more bag holders, and it never just pops. What it does is just keeps going, trickling towards zero, and it never comes back. So all these people just become bag holders. That's a real bubble. So in case you guys were wondering what a bubble is, bubble's not like, even back in 99 and 2000, the market didn't just pop, right? Those you guys that you remember that January in 2000 when the NASDAQ made 5,000. I remember that day. They were literally dancing on tables at CNBC, telling people, yeah, buy stocks. Well, it was what was it? 4 or 5 years before the NASDAQ even saw 2,500 again. So that's a bubble, though. That's a bubble. A bubble inflates, catches all these bag holders when it's full. Then it starts deflating and people get depressed and they're wondering what's going on. And then all of a sudden it inflates again and people jump in, right? They're like, oh man, this is it. We're going back to 20K. And then it's got some more and then it deflates a little more. And it's just breaking hearts all along the way, right? But anyways, that's Bitcoin and that's bubbles and stuff like that. But yeah, guys, it's kind of it was kind of a eventful day today, What do you mean by, people who don't know how money works? What I mean by is they don't understand how currency works. It's a very simple statement, Sana, for somebody to say Bitcoin is going to replace the dollar. Really? Exactly how? How is Bitcoin going to replace the dollar? And that was my question. We typed it into the little webinar. They never answered it. But exactly how will Bitcoin replace the dollar? A fiat currency works in many, many ways. A fiat currency is ingrained into economies and stuff. You're not going to replace it with Bitcoin ever, okay? And you heard it here first. And that's all it was. He was trying to make these connections to how Bitcoin would be the next dollar. And it just didn't make any sense, and that's what I mean by people who don't know how money works. I don't mean like people that don't know how to invest in stuff. I mean, like maybe, an MBA obviously knows how fiat currency works a little bit better than somebody who didn't go to finance school and stuff. That's all. It's not derogatory or anything like that. And yes, there you go. That is a great opinion. Thank you. Thank you so much. That makes a lot of sense too. Countries are proud of their currencies. They are. You know what you guys are seeing in the United States right now, where it's almost like, ooh, we almost had an accident outside. But you see how it is in the United States right now, how, patriotism, it's almost like if you're a patriot, you're frowned upon and stuff. Other countries aren't like that. They're proud. They're proud of their flag. They're proud of their currency. They're proud of everything, right? And they're not going to just let it go, right? You know what I mean? So, and it's true for the U.S. as well. There are people like us that are very proud of our country, very proud of the Americans. You know what I mean? Very proud of the U.S. dollar. We love the dollar. We love it to be strong. We love to be able to go to other countries and use the U.S. dollar, right? Things like that. That's what we all thought, but crypto is too complicated for the average person. Oh, man. Sana, it took us, and we're not, we're pretty smart in the trade room. Okay, I say that liberally, but, it took us like 2-3 weeks just to figure out how to trade it. You know what I mean? Because we're not going to enter anything without an exit strategy. Well, we have golden rules in the trade room, and I make these guys follow them very strictly. One is anytime we get into a trade, I don't care if we're trading baseball cards, we have an exit strategy prior to entering that trade. And so we couldn't even develop an exit strategy because we couldn't figure out how to get it from US dollars into Bitcoin, into whatever coin we wanted, or, if we were buying an ICO, a smaller coin, and then how to get it back into US dollars. Right? We just couldn't figure it out. There was no simple method. It's not like a stock where you sell it, like you sell your Bitcoin and it just goes into US dollars and you can withdraw from your portfolio. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Don't even bother with it. Why do you want to complicate it? Remember what we always say in the group too, right, Sana? Right? Keep it simple. Why do you want to complicate your life like that? Oh my God. You know what I mean? And it's a 24-hour market like the Forex. So, you know what I mean? Be careful when you go to sleep. But it is pretty complicated and stuff. We have a couple of friends that are really into it. Samuel has one friend that's really, really into it. And I'm not sure how he did over the time with it. But it's just really complicated. It's really complicated. So, I mean, I've lost friends making this statement when I ask how. I get these. You too, huh, Marco? Marco, I've been spending 7 or 8 months right now. What has it been since it hit that 20K, almost 20K? It never really hit 20K, right? It hit almost 20K. But since that day, it's almost like I get visual death threats when I say Bitcoin is going to be worthless. So, and look, I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not the second coming of Christ or anything like that. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But I don't think I am in this situation. And yeah, I mean, just to kind of sum up on that, man, it's like you, Marco. I mean, we've just lost friends making that statement. You know what I mean? It's like, it always happens though, right? When people come to you with this, Marco, I got this great idea. And you ask them one tricky question, then all of a sudden, yeah, screw you, Marco. You don't know what you're talking about. Right? You start losing friends. I go through that all the time. But, let's kind of sum things up. I mean, Bitcoin at Stock Pick Profits, we don't play it. We did play, Jesse and them will remember, some of the older members will remember, we did play when it first came out, GBTC, the Bitcoin fund. And I think we made about 30% on it, but then we just never touched it again because it was too crazy for us. But we did make like 25-30%. But, it's like the old saying in Vegas, right? The longer you sit at the table, the better your chance of losing money, right? So we figured we went in there with our virgin luck and we hit it on a Bitcoin fund. And so we cashed out our money and we never played it again. Hey, Jesse. Yeah, Jesse will remember GBTC and Bitcoin. We never played it again, but that's the reason. It's just gone down methodically since then. So, but yeah, Jesse, I remember when the one time that we played GBTC and we made money on it. But like I said, it's the old Vegas rule, right? Longer you sit at the table, more chance you lose money. We made money. count our blessings, we're out the door. You know, while people were losing the rest of their money, we were out spending the money we made. So, and Marco, yeah, get in before you're priced, right? There you go. And that was the biggest thing about it is, like I said, we've got these, we've got very strict, we've got very, very strict trade rules in the trade room. And one of them is I never let the team enter a trade without having a full plan. If it goes down to this price, what do we expect to see from the option price? Blah, blah, blah. Is that a safe area? Do we buy more? Do we bail? It's just all along the way. You hyper growth accelerator members know with the pick we put out this morning, we have a report that goes on it. But on that report, there's actually charting of where the option price will be based on the time and based on the underlying price of the stock. So that's a big rule, and we just couldn't fulfill that part of the rule. What is your exit strategy on the Bitcoin trade, right? So we fiddled around with it. We had a lot of fun with it. We even got Samuel into it, for a while, and Laura was into it. Laura never traded anything before. We were letting her pull triggers and stuff, and we just had a lot of fun with it. But it was just a couple $100 we could afford to lose. It was like sitting down at a table in Vegas. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. We're more out to have fun and learn about it. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, but it's not something that we'll invest in. It's not a serious investment. So anyways, look, gang, it's great seeing you guys all today. We're running a few minutes long. So if you guys don't have any more questions, I give you 1 more minute to post some questions. If you got questions, if you got comments, it's Monday. Wanted to start out the week right. So we wore our fire red shirt today. We're ready to go at it. Let's kind of go over the market real quick. It was an ugly day today. The last 30 minutes were pretty encouraging. The war of the words on trade continues on. Kind of let that cycle through, right? Let's see what the actions are and the results of it before we make any final decisions or judgments on this. Netflix had its worst day in 2 years. We've been looking at Netflix for about a week now. We don't like the forward projections for the company. We don't think there's going to be all that subscriber growth. If you're out there looking for ideas for trade, Netflix is one of them we're looking at. Looking forward, it was a nice last 30 minutes in the market. Let's see how things digest overnight with futures and stuff. It's only one day. It's funny. One of the office people posted an article on I Love Investing. It was about Trump. Trump's ratings have actually gone up. His approval ratings. So they posted that. It's kind of relevant, right? It is kind of an interesting article if you think about it. Whether you're a liberal or a conservative or a progressive or whatever, it was interesting because isn't it interesting to you guys that with all this immigration stuff going on, his ratings went up. His approval ratings went up. So we thought it was an interesting article and we posted it. And not even 2 minutes later, there's the first comment, right? And the market's crashing as we speak. It's like, dude, it's one day. It's like, slow down. Okay. You know what I mean? That we'll beat up Trump later. But that's pretty much the kind of Monday it's been. So look, gang, if you're excited and you want to get involved, there's a link for you. Just click on that. If you enjoy the show, share it, pass it on. We'll be back tomorrow about 30 minutes after the market. It was a great day today. Let's see. Well, we want a green shirt then, Savar, right? We want a nice green market day. Anyways, it's always a surprise what shirt I'm going to wear. We actually just on the weekend got a bunch of new shirts too. So let's see what they are. Anyway, so that was a market wrap. Not sure what you guys are trading, but now you know what we are. We still think the market's bullish. Just let it kind of flux down. Like we said, keep an eye on that 2-year, 3-year chart because it looks like if we don't take out the previous high, the high from a couple weeks back, what's going to happen is we're going to form the right side to our right shoulder. And then that's when you want to take up some serious short positions. Okay. We'll keep you updated on it. All right. You subscribers, you don't have to worry. You're in the know already. And if you want to be a subscriber, right there. Anyways, you guys have a great Monday afternoon. All right. It's been fun as always. Thank you for the support. We'll be back tomorrow. You guys think of questions and stuff like that. Think of topics we can talk about just in case it's a dullish day. You know how it is with these markets when we have a big sell down. Maybe we go a little bit flat tomorrow. Svar, as always, all of you have a great, great afternoon.